Right. I'm going to talk now very briefly about the London Stadium and what I was told tonight. Now I know I've kept this till the end, and usually you should put your, your big news out on the start. But we talked about Amanda Staveley at the start of the show, and I'm going to close the show talking about the London Stadium because it's kind of breaking news. It was information I was given just before I went online tonight, and it's all about Karren Brady or the fact that she's now left. Now, with her out of the picture, there are rumours, and they'll pick up over the next few weeks, suggesting that the Mayor of London or City Hall could start opening talks with the current owners of West Ham United as to the future of the London Stadium. Now, it's no secret that Sadiq Khan and Karren Brady had a very fractious relationship. They didn't see eye to eye on almost anything. It was a frosty relationship, which now could change given where that Brady is out of the picture. For over a decade, Brady was the club's primary link to the stadium authority, to City Hall, and her departure removes that long-standing personality from the negotiating table. How many times have we been taken to court, or we've taken them to court over something minor over the stadium, etc.? So with her gone, there's a reset. The reset button has been hit. A chance for a fresh relationship, an opportunity for new proposals to be heard without the baggage that went on before. Now, this means that talks could be a lot more meaningful than they have been in the past. City Hall has got two pressures. We know this. The stadium loses money every year, and the long-term sustainability requires a stable anchor tenant. We're the only ones in the game. West Ham United are the only realistic, stable, long-term anchor tenant. Now, we've got the 99-year lease, and 10 of that is already gone. So City Hall may now be open to exploring something different. And here are the options. There's a possibility of a sale of the stadium. There's a possibility of a much longer-term lease. There's the possibility of a full operational takeover, or there's a possibility of a joint management model of the stadium. Now, all of these, as far as the public sector is concerned, will reduce the financial burden to the public, the taxpayer. So the club has got its motivations, control. Let's say we buy it. I don't think we will, but let's say, for example, we buy the stadium. That means we will have control of match day revenue. But if we take over the operational running of the stadium, we will have control of match day revenue. Because at the moment, the only money the West Ham are getting in are ticket sales. But so everything else like food and beverages and everything else that relates to the stadium doesn't go to West Ham. If we took more ownership or more control of owning or running, let's say, I don't think we want to own it. We've always hankered to run the stadium. Operationally, we've always wanted to operationally run it. If we took more control of that, then we might have more say on how to modernize the stadium, how to make it better fit for purpose. There'll be better commercial opportunities. We still haven't got naming rights, or City Hall still haven't got naming rights over the stadium. So there's that commercial aspect as well. And there could be more flexibility for redevelopment of the stadium itself. Now, under the current arrangement, West Ham, we're tenants, limited influence. No ownership. We've got limited influence as to every time we go to the stadium owners to talk about standing areas or this or that or the other. They always say, well, no, you're the tenants. You do as, it's up to us how the stadium is run. But if that changed, if ownership changed in some way, if we didn't become outright owners, but we became long-term tenants, or we have operational running of the stadium, all of a sudden, the everything changes, and we'll have a more favorable, we'll be able to have a more favorable approach as to how the stadium itself is run. Look, I said there are really the main realistic pathways: a full stadium purchase, West Ham to buy the stadium outright, total control, ability to redevelop, long-term financial potential security. But the challenge is high upfront cost. It will cost a fortune to change the stadium to how we want it. And there'll be complex and legal contractual obligations that we've got to buy ourselves out of with all those who are currently providing the food and beverage and all that sort of stuff. All those contracts would have to be looked at, and that will be on a cost basis. It will kill West Ham. So I don't think ownership buying the stadium out is actually the long term potential. A long term lease, operational control is another matter. West Ham to take over the running of the stadium while City Hall retains ownership could have its benefits. Lower costs, club gains control of operations, City Hall reduces its losses, and this is the most likely scenario and the one that West Ham itself would probably favour, being able to run it operationally. So it'd be like a bit like how we had at the Boleyn, where we owned it, but we ran the operations of it, and that's a likely scenario. Joint management of it is also a possibility. Lower risk for both sides, gradual transition, easier politically and financially. And this could be a stepping stone to full control. But I think now, with Brady gone, there is, from what I've been told, with Karren Brady out of the equation, out of the picture, now City Hall are looking at the potential of talking to West Ham about the future of the stadium. Chance to renegotiate the deal, a way to reduce public losses, an opportunity to stabilise the stadium long-term's future. West Ham will have a rare opportunity to gain control, a way to unlock more potential, commercial potential, and it's a strategic move at maybe long-term future ownership. So I think it's probably on the cards. Now, there is, of course, the other issue about the athletics and the athletic stadium, the stadium being used for athletics and so on. That's not going to go overnight. If we took operational control, that the athletic stuff is not going to go overnight. But what we'll have is, if we have operational control, we're paying a bigger chunk, a slice of the pie to actually run it. Of course, it counters by taking more income from it. But if we have that, we've got more control over how the stadium operates throughout the calendar year. So athletics will still have access, but it's got to work around a football calendar. You've only, the recent news that, that the athletics are trying to take over midway through a season. Is it next season or season after, or whatever it is? So that landscape will change. Well, we have more say because we'll be paying more money, but we'll be earning more income from the stadium. So we'll have a bigger say as to what else is run. So it doesn't interfere with West Ham's schedule, West Ham's calendar. So major events are likely to continue. So it won't happen overnight that athletics will go. Look, I think this is an interesting thing. I think it's quite groundbreaking news that West Ham United might now get the chance to talk about running the stadium. I'm not going to say owning it. I don't think that's going to happen, but certainly running the stadium. And I think that's now on the cards. This is how much the conversations were not being had during Brady's reign. She rubbed Sadiq Khan up the wrong way, and I dare say he rubbed her up the wrong way as well. So, they were more willing to seemingly to go to court over things rather than sort of negotiate things. So I think it's interesting news. I think it's possibly a gateway to, won't happen overnight, but to eventually improve how this stadium is. Would there be a rebuild? Well, we'll have more say into the seating structure and all that sort of stuff if we have more operational control over it. So that's the news. I don't know. You tell me what you think.